Hey, we are back on the Pig Trail. We're talking recruiting now as far as on the hoops side of things. Kevin McPherson joining us. He's been writing some great stuff for us on the Razorbacks on Hogville. As always, Kevin, let's talk about the Texas-Arkansas basketball game, which wrapped up in overtime, a 73-71 win for the Longhorns. You know, in terms of late game situations, we'll get to those in just a minute. But first, the free throw shooting for Arkansas. This continues to be an issue. What's the deal here? Just 54% roughly against Texas for Arkansas.
Yeah, it's tough sledding for Arkansas at the free throw line throughout the preseason. We saw it. It actually hurt Arkansas at the end of that game. You know, Daniel Gafford steps up, hits 1 of 2 at the end of regulation, gives Arkansas a 3-point cushion. Texas come down. Kerwin Roach hits a big shot with 1 second left, essentially sending the game to overtime, tied at 63. And then the extra period, Arkansas continued to struggle. Adriel Bailey was 0 for 2 in his opportunity. So if you combine those last 9.4 seconds and then all of overtime, Arkansas was 4 of 8 from the free throw line. Texas shot 70% on the game, 21 of 30, and ended up 70%. And, you know, there are other things that happened that led to that outcome. But when you're playing away from home against an opponent like Texas, you've got to get to the free throw line and knock them down when you get there.
All right, tell me about the ball security, because we know Shaka Smart's clubs, they really like to get after you. 18 turnovers for Arkansas in this one, 14 for Texas. What do you think about Arkansas in terms of the turnovers they're committed?
Well, really, both teams like to press full court and create turnovers that way, and this wasn't that kind of a game. This was a half-court grind game. I understand why Mike Anderson backed off the full-court pressure. Only 9 deep in that game, and it's your first game of the season with a young team. So Arkansas did their best to fight through half-court issues, and were able to do that when they started mixing in the 2-3 matchup zone. Arkansas, only forced 14 turnovers. They only had 2 fast break points. Same with Texas. So this was a half-court game, and I thought Arkansas, some of it was unforced turnovers, kicking the ball, stepping out of bounds. Daniel Gafford had 6 turnovers, not playing probably smart or as quickly passing out of double teams as he should have. Something we talked about as a key to the game last week.
You know, you talked about the late game situations earlier. You mentioned Roach's big shot there at the end of regulation to send it to overtime. There was a high ball screen there set by Texas. Smart thinking there, and, he hits the 3 off the bounce. But what do you think of the switch there defensively from Arkansas? A lot of people talk about that, how much switching Arkansas has to do. But, again, time winding down and a big shot from Roach.
Well, the switch came, and Adriel Bailey did not probably close as hard as he could toward the shooter's side and the shooter's shooting hand to maybe try to drive him off that 3-point line, get him inside in the middle game, because a 3 is the only thing that can send the game to overtime. A 2-point shot or a foul that results in 2 free throws would still, give Arkansas a lead down the stretch there. So in the closing seconds, I thought, if you do close hard, you might foul him, and he gets 3 free throws and ties it anyway. But I think Arkansas probably could have done a little better job of closing on the shooter there.
I'll give you about 20 seconds each on these 2 guys. We talk recruiting. 2020 offer for Devante Davis. Understand he's going to change his unofficial visit date. And in 2019, Javon Franklin, broken leg. He's going to redshirt in 18-19, right?
That's correct. So Devante Davis was supposed to take his unofficial visit yesterday for the Arkansas-LSU game and watch the Razorback basketball team practice. He's changed that up. He'll now visit on Sunday, November 18th for the Arkansas-Indiana game. Javon Franklin told me today that he's actually sees some silver lining in missing this season. He's going to redshirt, and he'll have 3 years of eligibility at the Division I level. We know Arkansas is one of the teams front and center. After him, he's always had interest in Arkansas. So he told me once he's able to start walking again, about a 3-month healing process, he's going to start taking official visits. So that would be sometime in 2019 during the basketball season.
My man's on it. Good stuff as always from Kevin McPherson. He writes on Hogville for us here for the Pig Trail Nation. More of the Pig Trail rolls on right after this.